are in Geneva. Before we get to the auction previews, I wanted to swing by a few of my favorite vintage watch shops in Geneva to see what they have in stock. One you guys have undoubtedly seen in the videos before at the Davidoff Brothers. This one you might not have, my good friends over at the Ponti Collection. Let's go take a look. We are here at the Ponti Collection in Old Town, Geneva. It is a father-son duo who have been in business a very long time, curating some of the best vintage and modern watches in the heart of Geneva. Let's go take a look and see what they have in store today. Stan, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too.
Dude, I love your shop. Every time I come here, I'm like, this is what a proper shop should look like. So before we get to the watches, give my audience here a quick breakdown who you guys are, and then I want to see a little tour, maybe check out your watchmaker.
Yeah, sure.
Ask them to fix something.
So we are Ponti Collection in Geneva. We opened in 2001. My father, I joined him in 2017. I worked a bit in the US in some auction houses before, and yeah, we moved in this place 2 years ago. We had a small shop before in the city center.
Okay.
And we have a watchmaker. I'd be happy to give you guys a tour.
Yeah, give us a tour. This place is such a beautiful shop.
Come with me.
I like to joke with Sasha Davidoff that this is what he needs to model his store after.
So very important, the bar here on your left with everything you need.
It's too early for a drink.
Watches, so 2 displays of Rolex.
Yeah.
AP, Patek, Journe. A bit of everything here.
So you guys do not just vintage, you do modern as well.
We do a bit of modern because like this is what the market asks, but we prefer of course vintage.
Right.
And
would you say the breakdown is like 50-50?
I would say 60-40, probably 60% of vintage.
Okay.
So let's head. This is where we receive the customers. We have our office there with Sasha and my father having a coffee. This is the place we take care of the watches.
Wow.
So yeah, very nice. We are very happy to have a watchmaker working with us. His name is Pascal. He's half Japanese, and he worked 30 years for Rolex.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I've been searching for an in-house watchmaker for the better part of a decade now. It is so hard to find competent, good people.
Extremely hard to find someone good.
Yeah, we literally have 5 different watchmakers spread out throughout Miami that we use, depending on if it's a perpetual, if it's a chronograph, if it's a submariner. We have different watchmakers for different watches. It's very hard to find somebody who can do everything.
Yeah, I know the situation, and we're very happy because in-house it's changing your life.
Do you guys service watches like for customers or only your own watches?
Yeah, we polish, restore, service, everything for the customers for our watches.
So not just watches, guys. If you're ever in Switzerland and you need a watch service or polished, hit up the Ponti Collection. But let's make an appointment and come see them because we got to go check out the watches. Okay, so you have, I see a lot of stuff here. I don't want to keep you here all day. Everybody's busy. It's Geneva Watch Week or Watch Auction Week. Pick out 3 or 4 of your favorite watches that you have in stock right now, stuff that you really like, and tell us a little bit about them.
So here we have a very special Patek, 1959. You probably know.
One of my favorites.
The Gilbert.
Yeah. Whoa!
Super, super nice condition. Original owner. Reference 3424. 59. And this watch is very particular because it has this very champagne dial. You usually see like a white or silver dial. And just look at the condition of the dial, the case.
No, that has to be one of the nicest ones I've ever seen. This is absolutely stunning. And this is one of the most desirable watches on the market right now.
It is.
It's so hard to buy, so hard to find, especially nice ones. It's really, for me, a true sign of the times that people are looking for something different, maybe a little more Art Deco, funky, kind of thinking outside the box than the normal watch mold, because this case, you know, screams like I have a little bit of style, taste, and I'm different, you know? Because only like true watch lovers are going to understand this watch and understand how special it is. Fantastic piece. Absolutely fantastic. Love it. What else we have?
Very, very nice 6240 Daytona.
Okay.
Also from the original owner. The story is this gentleman received this watch for his 20th birthday in 1967, and this is the original invoice of the watch. His mother was working for Rolex, so it comes directly from the factory.
Wow.
She got, at the time, 50%, so the price is 333 Swiss francs, and everything is signed by Rolex.
Do you know what the conversion of 333 Swiss francs was in 1967, more or less?
I think today it's like 1,000 Swiss francs.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
So it's nothing.
Yeah, another watch in spectacular condition. And I'm very fond of the 6240s because this is like the genesis of the Daytona. Well, the screw-down pusher Daytona.
Yeah.
To the way Daytonas are still made today with screw-down pushers, black ceramic bezel on the newer models. And dude, fantastic condition. Really, really beautiful watch. Look at the dial.
Super nice dial.
1967, still crisp. They're still out there, people. That's awesome. And I love your display of Daytonas.
Thank you.
One of everything. So if you guys are looking and you're in Geneva for something pump pusher, something gold, something screw down, it looks like they have one of everything.
And here we have
the Audemars case.
Audemars case. We have a bit of everything as well. Perpetual jumbos. So let's pick this beautiful C-serial
One
jumbo.
of my favorite watches of all time. Absolutely.
Also crisp condition, all original with the certificates. The watch dates from 79. All original, super nice. Dial, hands, bracelet, no stretch, like super nice.
Yeah, very nice condition. It seems like you guys only are curating super nice watches.
We're trying to.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. It's with vintage, people are like, oh, well, how do you find this stuff? And, why is there so few options? I'm like, well, because we pass on dozens of watches before we say, okay, we'll buy that one and try to only buy the best stuff.
Yeah, especially on those ones. You don't have the market. And the good ones are very hard to find.
Yeah, for me, this is the best of Genta's designs. Like, I love Rolex more than, there we go. Then the Nautilus, this one's excellent because usually there's like peeling on these dials, and this one seems to be perfect.
Yeah.
Original unsigned crown. Yeah. Really fantastic watch.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, what else do we have in store? I see a Comex. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, very special Comex. 666 Comet matte dial, for those who knows. Very, very, very special watch. I think they made like around 50 of them. It's just been serviced at Rolex Geneva. Right. It has the factory stickers.
I was literally about to point out. Easiest way to know that Rolex has just serviced a watch and polishes. They still leave these stickers on them.
Yeah, and very clean dial. Very important watch.
Right.
Original.
Yeah, I mean, Comex watches for me have always been special because Rolex did so few, I guess we could call them collaborations. I think Comex was one of the only companies that they agreed to contract with and make watches for. So finding them, and they were used. They were sold to Comex to be used as dive watches in their operations. And a lot of them are truly very beat up and not in great condition still. This one looks to be absolutely fantastic. And being just serviced by Rolex is always a benefit, assuming they didn't replace anything, which doesn't look like they did. Did you have it serviced by them?
Yes, we do.
Do you mind if I ask, were you able to decline certain
Absolutely,
things?
yeah.
Because I'm always still scared to send stuff to Rolex. I've heard so many horror stories.
No, nowadays it's very different. And actually, for the service, we go directly to the factory.
Right.
Not a lot of people know that you can go directly to the factory. There is a watchmaker paid to be here every day. Okay. There is absolutely no one who come there.
Right.
And he does a very precise quotation, and you just tick what you want to replace or not.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because I've warned our audience before, be very, very careful, because I've had clients that have sent a watch to Rolex, declined, for example, they want to replace the hands. And even though they declined it, they still do it anyways. Rolex just chooses themselves. So
not in Geneva.
Okay.
To be honest,
So maybe if you want to get your watch serviced by Rolex, come and drop it off in person in Geneva and look them in the eye and say, I do not want anything replaced. Fantastic watch. You guys have some incredible watches here. Congrats on your amazing store.
Thank you so much.
Guys, like I said, if you are in Geneva, absolutely make an appointment. Go on their website. Come see Stan. Fantastic, fantastic store. Some fantastic watches. And grab a drink while you're here because they got a nice bar. Looks like. Awesome, dude. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
For our next stop, we're back at one of the staples of the vintage watch scene here in Geneva, the Davidoff Brothers. Let's take a look at what they have in store for us today. Bonsoir.
Hey, Adam. How are you?
Good to see you, brother.
You too.
Mr. Davidoff, thank you for pulling out some watches for us to take a look at. It seems like we have some new stuff since we last visited with your brother in November. Take us through. What do we got in store today to show our viewers?
So we're going to start with a watch that I've been talking about a lot the last few days, especially with auction season. You see a lot of these patina, a lot of these old gold, because here you can see this yellow gold date model. It's a 15038, which is from 1989. It was given for 30 years of service for Alitalia. And the gold is like orangey.
Wow.
It's super cool. And it comes with the original papers, everything matches. And you can see this is truly untouched condition from the day it was delivered.
Were these like the Chevron or GM or
Exactly.
Davidoff with the Alitalia written on the papers?
Yes, not Italia written on papers, but there's a bunch, all the same look, all the same range, all different names that have been seen. But this is probably the nicest looking one because it's,
Not only that,
mirror. You can see the mirror polish and the gold color is crazy.
and also though, I'm holding it. This is the original strap and buckle. Like, you can
100%.
feel it. This is it's
And
the creases in it.
And it mentions an Italian leather on the papers.
Oh wow, what a special watch. Very cool. I didn't even know that Alitalia was giving out gifts to their employees. You know, you don't know until you see it like as a case back engraving.
We just found out.
Yeah.
And then you see there's a bunch of other ones on the net, but again, this is probably the nicest one I've ever seen.
Yeah, the condition's absolutely spectacular. Very cool watch. What do we have next?
Next is a watch I picked up one of my last trips when I was in Asia. Again, you can see it aged with the gold, but you can see where it rubbed off. So it has darker areas and then lighter areas, and it's an unpolished case. This is also a very cool Vacheron automatic, center seconds, date, and strong case, oversized bezel, all the things you want to hear about these type of wristwatches.
Wow, absolutely stunning condition. Yeah, and I love when these gold cases tarnish. And it's weird because sometimes you'll get maybe a newer buyer and they're like, oh, can you polish it so that tarnish is removed so it doesn't look like it's rusted? And I'm like, are you sure you want to do that?
I just tell them straight up, I tell them this is not possible.
Right. Yeah, because you can even see the rosy patina in between the facets of the screwback case.
That didn't
Wow.
rub off with the skin.
Incredible watch, very beautiful, and I love these watches also because it's a dress watch, but it's approachable. The price point is right there where you're not
Sub
spending
$10,000.
Yeah, you're not spending a fortune, but you're getting a Vacheron Constantin, like one of the pinnacles of Geneva Swiss watchmaking, vintage.
Geneva seal on the movements.
Yeah, you're getting everything in such a great package for such a bargain of a price, in my opinion.
100%.
Super watch. Very cool. Going down the line, one of my favorite chronographs I can already see out of the corner of my eye. Tell us about this one.
So this was delivered to South America in the 40s. It's a 13ZN with everything original, the case, the dial. It's in pristine condition with this, I wouldn't call it Empire case, but it's quite nice because it's a smooth side, but I like this block case finish with this highly legible contrast between the dial and the hands, and the split lugs, which is a really, really cool little feature.
I was waiting for you to bring that up. That is wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild. And for me, I absolutely adore pulsation styles. This is a dial for a Longines with Art Deco numerals that you never see. Two-tone also, because, the inner circle has
Two-tone silver, yeah.
Silver, right. Has depending on what angle you look at it, the colors kind of change. Nobody makes watches like this anymore. Has incredible pulsation scale, 2 pulsation scale.
We saw at Antiquarum the 1463 with the two-tone dial, and I was comparing it to a brand that did a revival of that watch, Roger Dubuis.
Okay.
And I explained that the dial looked flatter because there's no contrast.
Okay. Yeah.
It's all the same from the center to the edge, and I believe that if they had done this two-tone contrast, it would have better dressed the dial.
Right. Yeah, but this is absolutely a very rare variant. You almost never see this style, pulsations and respirations.
It's in condition also it's for a non-waterproof case, it's fantastic.
And what country was it delivered to? You remember?
Argentina.
Argentina. Yeah, it's wild. And so many great watches come out of South America. They honestly had such great taste in the 50s, 60s, 70s for the watches they bought and the watches that I've been able to, suck out of Argentina and Brazil and Colombia. There was incredible watches delivered to those countries.
South America was one of the biggest markets for the entire watch industry. You have the name gondola, all the fancy shaped Patek cases that come from there. They made even bracelets, were made there for big brands, JM bracelets. No other country in the world, no other region in the world is so rich with history when it comes to Swiss wristwatches. And even the little detail you can see at the bottom of the dial, it says Suiza and not Swiss.
Yeah.
So it matches the Spanish country delivery.
Well, we should have saved this thing. It's probably going to be my favorite, but I see some other incredible watches. Walk us through what we have next.
So this is I would call it a bit of an oddball in our collection, is that it's a two-line racing. I usually prefer the three-line racings, and it matches more with the professional case, but this is a lovely two-line racing, which has some odd features for the period.
Right.
Is that it still has the Omega Ovalo. The lume is not present in all 12 indices. There is basically 4 of them which are lumeless.
12369.
Exactly. And it's a really cool racing dial and a really nice case from back in the day. And these are, quite rare. I think the 3-line, there's like a dozen known, and I think the 2-line is maybe a bit more known.
Right.
But these are really, really rare timepieces, and to find them, today, still in this level of condition, because a lot of these dials were mishandled and didn't age properly. So to find them in this nice of a condition is quite rare.
Right. There's always something to be said about a racing dial for me, because the 1967 watch, the colors, they just pop. There's history there. There's provenance. There was a reason behind them. And, there's a reason that Omega reintroduced the watch and has redone them a couple times, no?
So this is the closest, this and the 3-line version, the red racing, is the closest one to the nickname one, Tintin,
right,
which was basically the white and blue hash marks around the dial.
Yeah, and they just really didn't do any other interesting dials in the era, with colors.
But this was, so they have the gray racing, which is the third racing, which was the one that was the most produced, that even became a standard in the Mark II, and was also the basis for the Japanese reedition from 2004, where they made the Japan racing.
So are the red racing ones considered the most rare out of all of the racing variants?
For me, the 3-line is the rarest. This is the second rarest, followed by the gray. But rarity is one thing, but the most demanded is still the gray, because it's a bit more affordable.
Right.
And it pops even more.
Right.
The contrast is even more there.
That's what's great, though, is it's subjective. And if you like that color scheme, better, then you go for it. And if you can get it cheaper than getting the rare red racing, even better.
But this is priced quite aggressively, so we don't think we're going to hold it too long.
Well, before we jump to your last 2 watches, I haven't even shown you this. I picked this up in my trip in London right before I came here. I think you are the guys to appreciate it. 2915-3 in some of the nicest conditions I've ever seen on a watch.
So it's actually funny you're showing me this now, because you'll see it has the same ovalo on the print as this, and the positioning and some of the details are going to be very similar.
Right.
Because I believe that it was the same templates that was used for both dials.
Right.
So
same cliche.
Same cliche, yes.
Right.
For the center printing. That's why the S and the O of Omega are very similar.
Right.
Which kind of anachronic for a watch of the late 60s, but these dials didn't exist before.
Sure.
Yours is quite spectacular. The base 1000 is incredible.
Yeah.
I can see with my naked eye the dash and the back of the case at 12 o'clock. Have you ever noticed this?
No, I've never noticed that.
Right there. If you see the dash, you know that this only belonged in 2915-3, 2981, and 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I picked this up from a dealer who resides in London, but is originally from South Africa, and he has the original plane ticket from when he flew to pick this up from the original owner. And I believe the story because, first of all, he's got no reason to lie. He told me what he paid for it a decade ago. He's been holding on to it for quite some time, and I was able to get it out of his collection.
And the second detail is that you can see sometimes, because sometimes his bezels were worn out and were exchanged, but you will see on the bezel at the 60 mark, you will also see a second dash. And that's why the dash and the case is there, just to align the bezels.
And they're lined up perfectly, yeah. Wow, look at that. Thanks for taking a look. I'm glad it gets your stamp of approval. That makes me so happy. I didn't mess up. Oh God, with the Speedmaster. I see 2 more watches out here. One I'm very fond of. So that is the next watch you have out for us. Please tell us a little bit about it.
So I have a particular love for the Star Wheel.
Yes.
For the fact that the first one I saw was in the late 90s.
Okay.
Apparently, either belonged to the Swiss ambassador to America or the American ambassador to Switzerland that actually came into my hand. It was a white metal one with an engine turned dial. The look of the watch for me is something that Audemars was able to perfectly harness from what was developed centuries before. That you can see at the Patek Philippe museum if you go. There's quite different variations of the star wheel. It's not really a jumping hour. it's really the star wheel because as the hours goes through, the next hour pre-jumps,
Right.
and then it will perfectly sync up with a little arrow. And even AP today has relaunched this exact complication with some minor improvements, which aesthetically isn't really what I love.
Well, they have it in a larger code case.
Yes,
You know, they
with the
did that
center
blue
sync is-
aventurine dial. It's a gorgeous look, but for
It's
me,
probably the nicest code, actually.
I 100% agree. But my heart is always going to lie with the originals. I have, like you, a very large appreciation for these watches. I think they're beautiful. I think they were so representative of Adam RPK stepping outside their comfort zone for the era. The size for me is perfect. They're just beautiful watches, and I like all the different variants. Whether you could get, like you said, a guilloche dial or an engraved dial. There's a lot going on and a lot to love with these watches. And I think, dare I say, still a little bit undervalued for what they are.
They're 100% undervalued because for a time-only watch, the size of this type of case, the step bezel, this is really the DNA of what a complication, but this is more of a romantic complication, was back in the day. And for me, when you look at this, you see all these parts that are so hard to maintain and to manufacture, so elegantly put together to really have one of my favorite complications from AP, which is the star wheel. That's why also, even though the aesthetic isn't mine,
Right.
but the star wheel code is the best code that they've made.
For sure.
And as I said, my favorite variation would be white metal with the purple engine turned.
Well, they're not purple by design. They were blue by design, and they aged purple. We had one that was like the most spectacular one ever. People were losing their minds
Yes.
from the original owner. They had no clue it was purple. They just thought it was just a nice star wheel, white metal. But yeah, fantastic watches. Congrats on that one. And what do we have last but not least?
Last but not least, so my brother and I came up with this from an auction where we bought it. One of the things that I discovered and liked, all the new generation calibers that came up 24 years ago now from Rolex with Daytona, the majority of the lume dials, all which are Luminova, all turned to a cream color.
Right.
So the Pana is usually for the regular Daytona, that all the indices cream.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at this one, it's a dial usually reserved for a different model, and all the indices and the hand have a perfect cream aging.
Right.
So for me, I like these little details because it gives it more of an untouched feel for a watch. And the cool thing is, even on the box, you have the little white sticker that was like the dial code of, easier to find.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because this is a 1-1 reference, right?
Yes.
So it's not a tritium dial. It should be a Luminova dial. But
It
the
is.
fact that it's still aged to this cream color, it gives, I guess, some people hope that their Luminova dials could at some point age with a nice
Luminova,
tritium color.
Super Luminova, but not the chromalites.
Okay. Yeah, because those are blue, right?
Yes.
So yeah, those probably never. But yeah, people ask me all the time, oh, is my watch gonna age like with that nice like creamy color or yellow color patina? And when it's a Luminova dial, I'm like, sorry, but you gotta buy tritium. So for everybody watching out there, maybe one day you'll get lucky and it'll
But
age
only
gracefully like this.
Right, they've only been observed on the first generation
Right.
of the 1-1 series of the Daytonas.
Right.
The later ones from 2004, 2005, you don't really see it anymore. And as of 2009, I'm pretty sure that it is not possible.
Right.
Because the chromalite, they greatly improved the stability of the color. Because a lot of brands, this is what they have to do. They have to go through iterations to be able to better their products.
Right.
So this is what Rolex has been doing since day one.
Yeah,
So
small
it's finally-
incremental changes
Yes.
to improve over
Exactly.
time. Nothing ever really super drastic.
Exactly.
Very, very cool watch. Well, thank you so much for sitting down, showing us these watches.
You're welcome.
As always, remember to follow them on Instagram. Check out their website if you're interested in any of these watches. Send them a message on Instagram or directly through their website. They are all for sale, unless I buy one or two of them before I leave. But thank you so much.
You're welcome.